Well, hello there stranger and welcome to this video. My name is Natalie and I love cutting corners.
So before we begin with this tutorial, I have to give you a little bit of a background story because there's a reason why I made this meal planner in the first place. And that's because our dinner plans, or what we're gonna eat for dinner, mostly went like this. Me, honey, what are we gonna have for dinner? My husband, I don't know, what about spaghetti? Me, oh, no, we have had spaghetti for like 3 times last week. No, I don't want spaghetti. What about Thai curry? Husband? Nah. No, that's too much work. I don't want that right now. Me? Oh God, what are we gonna eat then? Husband? I don't know. I don't even want to go out and buy stuff at the supermarket. I don't want to go. Me? Oh, jeez, let's just buy sushi, okay? Yay! Sushi! And that's the reason for this situation in my fridge currently. As you can see here, I have enough soy sauce to last me through the zombie apocalypse. Because, you know, I am pretty sure that soy sauce will become currency during the apocalypse, but anyways, my fridge is full of these little packages. Very annoying. It is also the reason why we have, you know, enough of those Chinese chopsticks for maybe half of China. Great. Awesome. Who needs these? We don't. Enter the meal planner! Yay! It's the solution to all of our dinner planning problems. And as you can see, you can stick on these little recipe cards that you will of course have to make. And then also you can write on it with a dry erase marker for like any extra ingredients you might want to buy fresh that particular day. Ours is made for 2 weeks of planning, and I am going to show you how to make this meal planner in this tutorial. Let's get started! So as per usual, I am going to start by showing you all the ingredients you need to make this meal planner. Here we go. You will need, oh well, no, that's a cat. You do not need a cat. It can be helpful. In my case, of course, it wasn't. Okay, here's the real list of ingredients. You will need a picture frame. Again, yes, this one is from IKEA as well. Some cute paper or wrapping paper, whatever. Pick that up while you're at IKEA. They have cute wrapping paper. You will need a ruler, maybe not as big one as I chose for this one. You will need these fold back clips. I bought like this gigantic box of them, and that'll probably last forever. And yeah, that's what they look like. And you will also need straight, yes, no, maybe so. You will also need scissors, of course, for cutting. You might eventually need double-sided tape. I keep it here just in case. A glue stick can be helpful as well. And these like flashcards that I had laying around, they're just, you know, regular flashcards, and then these marker thingies that you can stick on the flashcards to make your recipe cards. I'll show you that a little later. And then you will also need a hot glue gun. Yes, mine is purple. Get over it. And then glue sticks, yes. Also, your dry erase marker. Yes, it's correctable. A regular pencil. A regular pen for writing down stuff, because attention class, we are going to do mathematics. We are going to do them with a pink calculator. And of course, since you're going to do math, it's good to have some, you know, scrap paper to write stuff on with your pen. Okay, for the sake of this tutorial, I chose to do this with a smaller picture frame. One, because I didn't have a big one like the one we are using, and you know, it was easier because there were like less cards to cut out and stick onto it, and yeah. So that's why I'm using a smaller one. These paper cards, these flashcards, will become both your recipe cards, and then we will cut them down to size to make the dates and those little square cards that are meant for like extra ingredients. Okay, I'm counting, I don't know how many, 7? Yeah. Now, first thing you want to do, measure your cardstock. These are flashcards. I don't know, I had them from something. So I just measured how wide and how tall it was. It's 9 by 5.2 centimeters. Okay, to make a square card out of this, of course, you're going to measure down 5.2 centimeters, ta-da, to make a square, like that. Mark it. You see why you shouldn't be using a big ruler like I am, and I'm going to switch to a smaller ruler later because that made everything so much more easy. Okay, so we're just gonna cut down the little square, and we're not going to toss the other thing in the trash. We are going to use it to make the date cards, because I'm just gonna cut this down the middle, cut it in half basically, and that means I have to divide. There we go. This is the first mathematics you're gonna see me do in this tutorial. There will be more to come. I will give you a warning before that happens, but in this case, okay, 9 minus 5.2 equals 3.8 centimeters, and 3.8 centimeters divided by 2 is 1.9 centimeters. There we go. There's the small ruler I was talking about earlier. Yes. Okay, so now I'm just gonna measure 1.9 centimeters, draw a line, and then cut this card in half, and that leaves you with two little cards that you can use for writing on the days of the week, like I did. Yes, this is me cutting. Snip. As you can see, we have turned this one big card into 3 smaller ones. I did that a bunch of times. I'm not going to show you that. And now I have like enough little squares, and as I mentioned earlier, I am doing this with a smaller picture frame, so I won't be able to fit 7 of those in one row. For the sake of this tutorial, I went with 4 per row. Okay, so next thing is, of course, as per usual, you want to disassemble your picture frame, and as you can see, I have learned something. Yes, I'm using a tool for those little metal clamps that usually ruin my nails. There we go. As you can see, I have 2 different manicures on my hands. Crazy. One side is red and the other side is black. Ha! Okay, disassembling the picture frame still. Okay, there we go. It's the good old Nietzsche, which has been renamed to Fisco. You can see the size of it that I used. Well, you just saw that, and I'm going to put it in the description, so don't worry. For the moment, we don't need the actual frame. We just need the, well, it's not glass, it's like plexiglass, plastic, whatever, thingamabob, and we're going to need that to measure our wrapping paper. I'm using this gorgeous paper I had. I don't know, it wasn't a gift set or something, and I just thought it was really fitting because it has sushi on it. I don't know if you're able to tell, but there are a lot of sushi pieces on it, so I thought it would be funny to use it. Also, it's bright orange, and that's like a nice backdrop for the white cards. So you're just gonna measure out the size of your frame, and by using the plexiglass, you can see what part of the wrapping paper or whatever paper you're using you're going to cut out, and you can adjust it like you want it. And then you just cut out that paper with your scissors. Scissors, yeah, scissors. Snippety snip. I'm not going to show you all of that. I don't want to bore you. Okay, attention class, it's mathematics time. I'm sorry that you have to go through this, but we want it to look nice, so we have to do this. Okay, you will need a calculator and a pen, and you will write down a lot of numbers. So my frame is 30 by 40 centimeters. 40 centimeters will be the width, and I know how big my cards are, and I have all these different sizes of cards, and we want to evenly distribute the cards in the horizontal plane and also in the vertical plane. So I'm going to try to tell you how to do this as easy as possible. So I'm making this little sketch for you. As I said before, I'm using a smaller frame. If you want to do 2 whole weeks, you will have to distribute 7 cards in the horizontal plane and roughly about 6 cards in the vertical plane. But in my case, I have to distribute 4 cards along the width of the frame, and that means, this is what I'm marking right now, that means that there's 5 spaces in between those cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and in the vertical plane, there's 4 spaces between the cards because I only have 3 cards that I have to distribute along the vertical, along the height of my picture frame. So there's the sketch. So all that's left to do is do the correct math. I know that the frame width is 40 centimeters in total, and I know that I have 4 cards, and all of the cards are 5.2 centimeters wide. So I'm just gonna, do the math. That's 20.8 centimeters. I'm going to subtract that from the total width to get the amount of space that I need to distribute evenly between the cards. Okay, and the result of these calculations is 19.2 centimeters, and those 19.2 centimeters have to be evenly distributed between those 5 spaces that are going to be in between the cards and surrounding the cards. Don't worry, it took me like 4 times to record this clip for you, so if you don't get it right the first time, don't worry, you will get there. It's not as hard once you've got the hang of it, and once you figure out that there's like 1 more spaces in between than cards you want to distribute. Okay, we're just going to do the math for the vertical, for the height of the frame as well. And here are the 3 types of cards I have to distribute along the height. The small one for the dates, the big recipe card, and the extra card for extra ingredients. And I know all those heights of those cards. The first one is 1.9 centimeters. The recipe cards are 9 centimeters high, and the little squares are 5.2 centimeters high. So let's just punch that into the calculator real quick. Okay, that adds up to 16.1 centimeters. And I know that the frame heights I have are 30 centimeters, so I'm just going to subtract 16.1 from 30 centimeters, and that amounts to something 13.9 centimeters. Yes, and I know I have to now divide that number by 4 because that's the in-between and surrounding spaces around the cards, and that leaves me with a total of 3.48 centimeters. That is going to be in between all of the cards. If you stayed this long and if you made it here, here's your trophy. So this next part involves measuring and putting things on your actual paper, or in this case the plastic of the frame. We want to fit these 4, well, I want to fit these 4 cards on here that will be attached to these, or can be attached to these fold-back clips, and so I have to figure out where those fold-back clips have to go. So using the measurements of the card and the in-between spaces that we just calculated, I am now able to, measure where the recipe cards need to go, and I'm marking that right here. The corners of it, 1 corner, and I'm just going to take the card and mark the other corner, and I'm just going to repeat that 3 more times. And this is where the fold-back clip will go right in the middle of that card. So now it's glue gun time. I love hot glue guns. Yeah, I'm just gonna put a dollop of hot glue on the plastic. Don't worry, it doesn't melt it, everything is fine. And then you want to place your fold back clip on there, and once you've placed it, make sure by opening it that it is not glued shut. You don't want that, so fold it back once. Yeah, and then we're just going to continue speeding this up for you. Gluing, opening, gluing, more gluing. There we go. And last one. Ta-da! All done. And since we've used a dry erase marker, we're now able to remove all those markings that we do not need on the front of the picture frame. Now, more measuring. 2 of the 3 cards actually go onto the wrapping paper or whatever paper you chose for your backing. And you will need your little cheat sheet with the measurements again, and a pencil and a ruler. And I'm just going to show you real quick these 4 date cards. These will have the dates or the weekdays on them, and these 4 extra squares have to go on the paper. So I am just going to measure out where they should go and mark those 4 corners. And the recipe cards that will be, stuck or clipped onto the front of the paper go in between those 2 cards. So I'm just going to measure 3.48 centimeters down and 3.84 centimeters in, and that's where the first card has to go, and then you just keep on measuring. I know this is tedious work, you could eyeball it, but I wanted it to be exact, and I'm just showing you the method that I used to perfectly distribute all the cards on the paper. So now we're just going to glue the cards to the paper. You can use a glue stick like I am using. You could also use, of course, double-sided tape, our ever faithful friend. But in this case I just chose to go with a glue stick, since it was only like 8 cards to glue on and I didn't want to go through the trouble of cutting all the double-sided tape. And then you just repeat, and there's the finished paper backing for your frame, and all that's left to do is reassemble the picture frame and leave the actual frame and the plastic. And I'm just gonna go ahead and put it all together again. It's a little, tricksy because you can't lay the frame flat on the ground because of the fold back clips that you just glue gunned on there. But you just hold up the frame with one hand and then put everything into place with the other hand, and just make sure that you have it the right side up because you don't want to redo this step because it's kind of finicky. Okay, and then you just put on the back of the frame again and close those metal clasps. Again, this can be a little tricky, difficult. There's one that didn't fold back all the way. Yeah, get in there. Yeah, there we go. And now I'm just gonna close some of the metal clasps to hold the frame and the backing in place, and then you can set it down on the table and close the remaining metal clasps with a tool, like I'm using my scissors again. See, I'm able to learn stuff. And once all that is in place, you are pretty much done with this part of the project. Yes. Ta-da! There you go. There's your frame all done. Now all that's left to do is do your recipe cards, and as you can see, mine are color-coded because I am weird like that. And there's like a color code for something that involves fish, and one that's just vegetarian meals, and one that has meat in them. And I also have those round dots that mark, like, is it a spicy food, does it need to go into the oven, and things and stuff. You can totally skip this. This is a fun activity to do with your partner. Actually, we did this together. We went through all the recipes we had and decided which ones were going to go on the recipe cards. And then, like, every 2 weeks we will sit down and draw 14 cards at random, and there's like a few bonus cards in there, like order takeout or go to a restaurant, and so there's always a good chance of you getting a random goodie card. So once you do that every 2 weeks, you're just gonna go ahead and clip those recipe cards in place, and you are done. And there's no more hassle about what are we going to eat for dinner, what do we need to buy, what do we have at home, because like I said, we do this every 2 weeks, and then we would buy all the ingredients that can be stored beforehand, and then just buy the fresh ingredients the day of. So this is usually where my outro would go, but I am not feeling too well at the moment. I am kind of sick, so I am too lazy to film an actual outro, so this is just gonna be like this. Thanks for watching this video. I know it's been very, very long, but I had to sort of describe things in more detail than usual. And yeah, like I said, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you have any other ideas of what I should try out next, and any other sort of DIY ideas you want me to try out. Just let me know down in the comments below. And thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.